Hello everyone, welcome to second part of Rogue DPS guide. Today we are gonna go through interface and macros. Let's start with interface. First, I would like to point out the 3 must-have add-ons. To be honest, I can't imagine playing without all 3 of them. What are they? First one is Muted Sounds Combat, which technically is not an add-on, but instead addition to your sound files, but after all, I decided to list it here. What does it do? Simply remove all unnecessary sounds, meaning pretty much everything except for add-on sound and boss speeches. Why? It makes it easier tracking everything in right environment with both eyes and ears instead of eyes only, leaving ears to focus on all messy noise. Obviously, apart from add-on and boss sounds, you can hear anything from external software such as TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, so in the end any sound that you can hear is relevant. Second one is Power Auras Classic, perfect tool for tracking literally everything related to combat, buffs, debuffs, cooldowns, spellcasts, and so on. Add-on is very easy to customize, and when you do it properly, which means both visibly and audibly, then there will be nothing that can surprise you during combat. Here you can see that I'm tracking debuffs on me with big icons and scary sound. Other than that, I'm tracking cell buffs and target debuffs, so I'm sure that Raid is doing well buff and debuff wise, so I can do optimal DPS. Other than that, I use cooldown availability pop-ups and internal cooldowns tracking. The last one is boss add-on. I guess bigwigs and deadly boss mods are most common ones, but as long as they are up to date, it doesn't really matter which one you install. The only thing that you need to ensure is whether this add-on offers both visible and audible warnings, and as far as I know, most of them do. So yeah, we've got these add-ons installed. What next? Let's go through some fundamental add-ons that actually work on your interface look. Bartender 4 is an add-on responsible for action bars. It allows you to move these bars freely around the screen, and Full Charmer offers extra buttons in case you run short on them. On top of that, you can hide buttons, but at the same time keep their functionality, so your UI looks even more clean. You can see that most of my bars are hidden, and I keep visible only those that have cooldowns so I can see it. Shadowed Unit Frames is an add-on responsible for all kinds of frames. I personally use it for my own frame, as well as target, target's target, focus target, and boss frames. There are many more options though, such as arena, party, or raid frames, so you can adjust it to your needs without any trouble. Quartz is an add-on responsible for cast bars. It has plenty of modules, so install all that you find useful. I personally use it only for target and focus target cast bars, because as a rogue, I don't really care much about my own cast bar nor anything related to range issues. Chatter is an add-on responsible for chat window. It offers great improvement to classic chat by adding bunch of stuff, such as coloring, sticky channels, copying text, timestamps, and many others. Mixed scrolling battle text is an add-on responsible for combat information such as incoming or outgoing damage, but also all kind of notification. As for outgoing damage, however, on top of MSBT, I use Blizzard combat text because I actually love seeing those fat numbers all around me. Naturally, it's subjective, so instead you can use MSBT only to keep those numbers in one place somewhere not in the middle. You can see that I'm using separate windows for different sources of damage. Here you can see only white attacks, here only special attack crits, and here dots. Over here you can see combo points, and here I'm tracking damage taken as well as healing and absorbs. There is a bunch of other options, so enter settings and find what is important to you. Omni CC is an add-on responsible for cooldown tracking. It's simplified to text mode only, so you need to have action bars visible in order to make this add-on serve its duty. There is not much to say about this add-on, other than simply download and install. Leatrix Tooltip is a tiny add-on that improves slightly standard tooltip and allows it to move freely. If you want something more advanced, I would say try TipTag. I personally did not find it necessary. Now let's go more into class related add-ons. Basic Combo Points is a simple add-on responsible for tracking amount of combo points. You can see it here. You can edit text size and colors so it fits you. Rogue Power Bars is an add-on meant to track buffs and debuffs via bars. For me, it is addition to Power Auras Classic add-on, because some abilities I prefer to track with bars instead of text or icons. These are Slice and Dice, Bandit's Guile stages, Adrenaline Rush, and then my dots, such as Deadly Poison or Rapture. Keep in mind that these abilities don't need to be rogue related only. I also track Bloodlust Timer, so basically it can track anything as long as it's buff or debuff. BigBrother is an add-on responsible for checking raid buffs, flasks, auras, and consumables. In addition, it provides tunable raid alerts to chat about various things such as misdirects, reses, crowd control, dispels, etc. And this second part is what I'm mainly using this add-on for. Simple Threat Meter is a tiny add-on showing your own current threat percent. I didn't find it necessary to use Omen because I rarely ever find need to see other people's threat nowadays. Skada is a modular damage meter with various viewing modes. As a rogue, you don't really care about healing, so the only modules that I personally find useful are damage done, damage taken, and enemies. Skada is extremely efficient with memory, so I highly recommend this one over recount. Here you can see tracking one specific target, and here overall damage. We are almost done with interface part, but before we are finished, I'd like to mention 3 more add-ons that will make your life easier. First of them is Action Bar Saver, which saves your action bar settings so that you can use more than 2 specs with no need to change your keybinds or swap abilities every time you respec. Then we have Combat Log Fix, add-on responsible for fixing combat log back on the fly without need to relog. Simply download and install. Finally, Ace3 library. What does it do? I particularly have one thing in mind. This is /in command in-game, allowing you to make time-based commands such as countdowns. Obviously it won't queue down your abilities, because it's meant only for chat commands, but still, it's something quite handy. So what about macros? I will include full list of macros in video thread on our forum. For now, let me mention few of them here with short explanation of their purpose. So yeah, Start Attack macro. I attach it to pretty much every offensive ability. You can see Sinister Strike, Backstab, Envenom, Eviscerate, Fan of Knives, Feint. Why? Without this macro, when your energy is low and you can't perform special attack, your auto attack wouldn't start. With this macro, it will, in all circumstances. Then we have Tricks of the Trade macros. They allow me to trick specific target without actually need to target or mouse over them. You can see I put names here before combat and then I trick them with one button. Here you can see macro that allows me to use the same keybind for 2 different abilities under given circumstances. While in stealth I'm gonna use Garrot and otherwise Gouge. Here you can see a slightly modified version. I will enter stealth if I'm not in stealth already, and then cheap shot immediately, so basically I can spam this button without risk getting out of stealth. Here you can see even more modified version that is used in PvP when you fight against stealth class. You can spam this macro and as soon as your enemy is spotted, it will target and sap him immediately. Then we have few poison macros. They allow me to put poison on weapon with single click instead of 2. For example, here we have instant poison on my main hand and then deadly poison on my offhand. Here we have macro that allows you to look at your character from longer distance than default Blizzard settings. Then we have right icon macro, so you don't have to click with your mouse, you just press it. Here we have countdown macro, which we can use because of Ace3 library. Then we have cancel aura macro that cancel unwanted buffs such as Hand of Protection or Paracute at Spine Encounter. Then we have mount macro that allows me to cast a random mount. Let's see, now I get Black Protodrake. Yeah. And now Lifebinder's Handmaiden. Then we have target exact macro, we check exact name of enemy or friendly target and then target it only when entire name is correct. Here is slight addition to Tricks of the Trade macro in case I wanna trick DPS with threat issues. It will cancel threat transfer but keep the damage buff on that target. Then we have many more macros that combine abilities, use items, potions, etc. that share no global cooldown and use them simultaneously. These macros are very important for Subtlety spec. I will include full list of macros on our forum, so check them out. So yeah, that's it for now. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. In the next part, I'm gonna talk about items, enchants, and reforging. See you soon, and remember to subscribe.